Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6 of Trent and Ean Talking the Podcast.
The Poodcast.
Good to have you back for episode 6. We're back in action.
Me here.
Yeah, fun little thing about this episode. We're doing a video recording of it, but it will not be used. It is a test video recording. Hopefully next week, if everything works according to plan, we will move into a video podcast. Audio will still be available, Spotify, everywhere you listen. But we're going to make a YouTube channel for it if you want to tune in for the video podcast.
Reaching out to new spaces.
There you go. Upgrading, really.
Amen. Spotify sucks.
It's not as fun, you know?
I mean, like, you can see my pretty face in my pretty new jacket.
Boom.
No merch yet.
Check out
Probably
the
not going to do merch for a long, long time.
Fair. But yeah, if we do a video podcast, we'll show the little GIFs and whatnot that we got, because they're kind of fun. But yeah. Ian, how you been?
I've been doing okay. I've got this thing that happened to my thumb. It's like a really annoying little thing under my nail. It's been aggravating me slightly. I broke my mouse, as you know.
You did.
Right before this podcast. So me and Lilster rode over to the Target and picked myself up a new mouse. I got the Death Adder 2, which is tight because it matches my keyboard. Also, you also have the Death Adder V2.
I do. I don't think I have the V2. I got it like a month or two ago. Or probably a couple months ago. So I would assume it's the newer one.
Little chonky boy here. It's more than I'm used to, but
it's simple, but it's got the side buttons on it. That's the big thing.
Oh yeah, side buttons. My GeForce mouse had side buttons on it, but I rarely used them, so hopefully
I
I'll
almost
actually
never
get a
use
use out of these.
I actually programmed one of them back when I played Valorant a little bit. One of them was my crouch button, because I didn't like reaching for the control key on the keyboard.
True.
I was like, well, it's right there on the mouse. I'll just click that.
So I actually did
Stop playing.
With my last mouse. I had like one right below my scroll wheel, and I bound that to control as well, but it was for redoing shots in Rocket League training, so I just click my mouse. I wouldn't have to move my left hand at all, so I could just keep a positioning.
That's convenient. Yeah,
I
I
look
also
over at my camera every so often, do like that gym thing.
Right? That's
Wait,
the plan.
you wouldn't know because you don't watch The Office.
I've seen clips. I know enough about it.
But now, my sister, I put her up to the task of finding the best clips to show you, or like the best episodes for you. Yes, she's currently working on it. I told her nothing too cringy, because I just want like the essence that's not cringy. Because most of it is cringy. I have to say it's cringy comedy, which is hard to watch, but there are some good episodes, and I think that the base of the show is really good. So she's finding some episodes for you to listen to and give a little look-see.
I'll give them a shot. I'm not against it.
Speaking of giving things a shot,
yep.
I downloaded your game.
Yes, you did.
I played about an hour.
Hellblade.
Oh my gosh.
What are your initial?
Scary.
Yeah, what are your initial reactions? Because you don't have to like it, right? It's just
scary.
It is scary. It's like
the first bit, yeah. So like you're walking through a swamp, you like paddle up, you've got all these bodies like hanging from the trees, and I'm like, ew, that's a little creepy. And you got all the voices in your head talking to you,
lots of voices,
narrating your every move, and it's like, don't go there. And like at first you don't want to, like you want to listen to them. It's like, oh, I shouldn't go that way, but it's all just like that anxiety, and you kind of just have to push through it. And I love that first scene where you're in the swamp, you're walking through, and it gets like super, super stormy. And like all the voices in your head are like going, oh my gosh, this is scary, turn back. And then you've got that one like maternal voice that gets you through it. And then all of the storm calms down, and you're like, and she made it through. Like, despite all of this, she made it through.
It's a very psychological game, which is pretty fun.
Right. What's the disorder that it's made off of?
Psychosis. I'm actually going to look up what psychosis means by definition.
Hey Trent.
Hey, what's up?
Define psychosis.
Psychosis, a severe mental disorder in which thought and emotions are so impaired that contact is lost with external reality.
Fun.
That's wild, actually.
There's your new word for the day, folks.
Psychosis, ladies and gentlemen.
Psychosis.
Yeah, you mentioned a little thumb issue.
Yes.
I also got a little issue right in the middle of my wrist.
Ooh.
Like right in the base of my hand on the top. It hurts to do push-ups because I've been working out recently, doing push-ups, crunches, a lot of like abs and push-up stuff. And I think I did it too much too fast, and I like hurt my wrist.
Nice.
So now I can't do push-ups because it hurts. So what I've been doing,
no pain, no gain,
is I changed my regimen. Instead of doing like crunches, push-ups, or whatever the workouts are, but like abs, chest type stuff, is I would do a big core workout. And then at the end, there's a staircase with about like 3 feet of floor at the bottom and the wall in my basement. And so I stand on the second stair and I lean all the way until my hands are on the wall, and I do like wall push-ups. Which are way easier but don't hurt my wrist. And so I ended up doing like 100 of those instead of like way less normal push-ups, whatever.
You'll get really toned that way. You do lightweight, many reps.
That's the thing, yeah. So hoping to be back in it, hoping the wrist. I don't really know what caused it. It's only on one wrist too, so I don't know.
Man, speaking of injuries, Lily has been her shoulder, I think it's her right shoulder, is just broken. She's been having arm twitches real bad.
Oh.
It's for working at Starbucks. So they're requiring people to work 6 feet apart in Starbucks, and it's just not feasible. It's so cramped back there. You've got like 5 people back there.
Yeah, behind a counter like that is tough.
And so they put in this glass, it's like plexiglass divider between the two the brewing machines. And then in the middle of that is all the like syrups and stuff. So half of the syrups are on one side of the glass and half of them are on the other. And it's just near impossible to pump stuff on like the top shelf of the other side from your side of the glass. And you can't go over the other side because, I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose, I guess. But it's like she's having to bend her right shoulder underneath this plexiglass and then up and then press down on these syrups.
Ew.
Those syrups are hard to press. Like, I watched her pump them down. Like, you need about maybe 10 pounds of force to pump it. Like, they get sticky. Maybe not 10, but like a decent amount of pressure needs to be put down. And you do that enough with an extended lowered arm. Like, I told her to tell her manager that they need to get rid of the thing because it just
they should just put like a little hole in the middle of it so you can put an arm through or something like that.
Because I mean, you have to get the cup on it too.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've got people walking all across the back anyways. Like, they're going to be coming in contact with each other. So
True.
Yeah, like, it really doesn't do anything. And then I've actually witnessed people hit their heads on it trying to get underneath it. She's hit her head so many times on it, but that's a whole nother story. Injuries.
Well, I was gonna say there's these injuries that I'm now experiencing. My wrist is not injuries I'm used to because it's not in my legs.
Right.
And I don't know how to react.
Runny boy.
It's true. I've everything from my hips down have been injured at some point.
I feel.
What are your like usual soccer injuries?
My usual soccer injuries? So, I'm a goalkeeper, or I was a goalkeeper for a while. I played from since I was a little squirt all the way up till I was a big squirt in college. And usually my injuries would be on my elbows. That was after I got my padding, because I dive all over the place. And I remember I have like this whole suit of armor essentially. I've got like football pads that I put, like football shorts pads. I've got volleyball knee pads. I've got my shin guards. I've got like this top that I put on that's got padding all over it. People used to call me the Dark Knight because I was just all in black. And I'd play in Texas where it's just like 110 degrees. It's super dry.
Awful.
Dude, I was just like Survivor man out there. I was stupid. I'm surprised I never got a heat stroke.
That's terrible.
But yeah, I used to get bruises all over the place before I had my pads. Like, I used to play at the YMCA, like the Boys and Girls Club. And they had an indoor tournament they do every winter. And it was on, like, hardwood floors, like basketball floors. And so I would just go all ham. And my parents would have to carry me off the court, like, after games because my adrenaline just kept it going, right?
Yikes.
So, like, I'd just be in the zone during the game, and after I'd be like, I can't move.
I've actually scored a goal with my face in soccer before.
Oh, that's fun.
And I think it's one of the only goals I ever scored playing soccer. I played soccer for like a good amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, it was your classic like when I was really young, but I stopped in like 5th grade. So I must have done it for like 5 or 6 years. And I was just garbage at it. It was not good. But there was one time where somebody tried to shoot, and then my face was in the way, and I hit a sick redirect with my cheek.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was unintentional. But
No, calculated.
cool.
Calculated.
It was 100% calculated. My 7-year-old self knew what he was doing.
So you said that all of your injuries have been in your legs. Have you ever broken a leg or broken a bone before?
The only thing, I've never broken anything, but I've had stress fractures in like leg things before, and I fractured my pinky finger once. I was playing Foursquare, and 2 of the players went inside to like get a snack, so I thought we were done playing, and then the person spiked the ball at me really quick. And so I put my hands up, and the ball just hit my pinky and just bent it back like a ton.
Yikes.
And now I have a trigger finger, so it clicks.
Ew.
You hear that?
Oh,
That's my
I
pinky.
hear that. That's some ASMR right there. You ready for this? So, listen to my hands. I can just crack them. Can you hear that?
I couldn't, but I don't know if I picked it up on your end.
Let me see. I'm gonna like do it right next to the mic.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's just ow. That's just from catching balls, man.
It's true. I do miss it because I haven't run in a long time. I should be, because technically we have a track season that may or may not be happening that I may or may not participate in. I don't really know.
Okay.
But I haven't run in a hot minute. I've not run in a little bit. I'm used to running like 6 days a week, like 6 to 7 mile averages probably. Like during peak was probably like in March, or February, March, where I would do like 8 or 9 miles on average for just like a run, and yeah, it's a different way of going about it, just not having that anymore, you know?
Right. You go from like this high level of like fitness to just nothing.
Couch potato.
I sit on my computer and play computer games all
I
day.
do that.
No, it's nice relaxing, honestly. Quitting soccer was probably the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
It took up so much time. It was weekends. Sometimes I'd have to miss school for it. It was every day after school, like all the time. If there was something happening, it was soccer. I never got to do anything else. Well, I mean, really, yeah, it was most of my life, especially in like middle school and high school. It was club soccer and school soccer and all that kind of junk. Did you run track in high school?
Yeah, in high school we had a track team. In college we don't have a track team, but cross country usually like competes in track, not like competitively, but we just kind of run against competition to like see where they're at.
Okay.
But in high school we did do track, and I did one of each type of event. For the running, I did the 1500 or the 3000, it's like the mile or 2 mile, or close. And then I did javelin, which was really fun, but I wasn't great at.
Right.
And then I did high jump, which I loved, but also wasn't great at. I was actually okay. I was okay at high jump. High jump's tricky because you need a lot of like explosivity. You need, I think it's called fast twitch muscle, and with running, especially long distance, you build a ton of slow twitch muscle.
Right.
So like long distance cross country runners don't have like explosive speed or like quickness.
Yeah.
We just, in other words, like a muscle, right? Muscles aren't huge, they're very toned. Like they're very like endurance based. So when you're doing high jump and you need to spring up like with a lot of explosivity, just didn't have it. I think my PR was 5'8".
Yeah.
Which was fun. It was like decently high, but I would be in competitions against guys who could do, 6'2". But it was fun. I miss high jump. Javelin was kind of fun, but I never really like loved it. High jump was a ton of fun.
Dude, I've always wanted to chuck a javelin.
It's fun.
Or that,
it's a ton of fun.
Do you ever try shot put? I don't even know how they get that far.
No, my little baby muscles can't move a shot put.
How heavy are shot puts?
Men and women are different weights.
Okay.
I forget how. I think women are 5 pounds, men are 8 pounds. I'm actually gonna look it up. How heavy is a shot put?
Yeah, your keyboard's a lot quieter than mine because I'd just be like.
I'm actually using my phone here. Let's see, how heavy is.
Oh no! Oh no!
Shot put.
Oh no!
16 pounds. And that's probably like Olympic level. I don't know if it's different in high school, but 16 pounds.
Yikes.
That's, I think, 2 gallons. I think a gallon of milk is 8 pounds.
Now I'm just thinking of the vine of the grandma holding the 2 gallons of milk, and then the lady honks and then she just chucks it.
That's a great one. She'd do a shot put.
So just a second, depart from what we just were talking about. I was doing that click bit on my spacebar, and I accidentally paused and started recording and paused and started recording. Nice. I'm not sure if they were stop and go on the same one, so we might have multiple recordings of my video.
Not a big deal. I was just gonna say we could do another sync up, but I think we're all good.
Cool beanos.
But yeah, no, my high school track team, overall, the track team was really good. But the long distance was so horrifically bad. In college, I run D2, Division 2, and I am 7th on the team, which is the very end of varsity. In high school, I was the number 1 runner of the team by 2 minutes. We had a terrible cross-country program. There was an event called the DSLR, I think, DLSR, something like that, where a person runs, I think it's a 200, a 400, no, it's a 400, an 800, a 1200, and a mile. So one person runs 1 lap, and then it's a relay, so you hand off to the person who then runs 2 laps, the next person runs 3, and the last person runs 4. And I was the best distance runner, so I ran the 4, so I ran a mile. And we were so bad, by the time I got my baton, the second to last place guy just finished.
Oh my gosh.
So I just ran a mile alone.
That's sad.
It might not have been a full mile, it might have just been the last lap. So I was 1 full lap behind the last place guy. Yikes. I think that sounds more realistic. But I was at least 1 lap of my mile. There was just nobody else on the track. I was just like, hey everyone, I'm just kind of running alone.
Victory lap, hello, you waving, blowing kisses.
What is the opposite of a victory lap?
A defeat lap?
It was a defeat lap. That's what it was.
So sad.
It was tragic. It really was. But no, in college, I'm pretty much, I think, just like default average. I don't know if you get any more of an average, like, varsity competitive runner that I am.
Okay.
Like, my 5K best time ever was like a 17:42 or something. Really good times are like low 16s. Anything in 15s are incredible.
Right.
And then once you're in like 19s or 20, you're slow. Sorry, people.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Hey, I'm talking like competitive college running, okay?
Right.
And then in college, you run an 8K, which is 5 miles. And my best for that was like a 29:30.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much a 6-minute mile. I've run a 6-minute mile for like 6 years. But, so I was 7th on varsity, and how, a lot of people don't know how cross-country scoring works, and it's kind of funky.
Tell me about it.
So cross-country scoring, the first 5 of each team, first 5 runners of each team score points. So the first 5 people are the only people who matter in terms of scoring.
Okay.
So if our number 1 runner comes in 26th place, we get 26 points. Your goal is to have the least amount of points. So the best possible points is 15 if you come 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. So you get 15 points total. Nobody does that in college because that's unbelievable. But like in high school, if you had like a dual meet or something, in college you have like, 15 teams running together.
Yeah.
But the first 5 score, so it's the culmination of all 5 of their placements. And then 6 and 7 are what are known as blockers. So if me, as my friend Liam was number 6, so I'm number 7, if there's a kid from another school who's that school's like number 4 runner, and we both pass him, he then gains 2 points. So Liam and I wouldn't score, but we've now given another team 2 more points because we passed him. But if I pass another team's number 7, it doesn't mean anything because neither of us are scoring. But if I pass other teams' scoring runners, I've now pushed them back a slot.
Okay.
And usually they'll like, if it's not like a championship meet, they'll let more people run. But if you're like 8th or 9th on a team and you pass like the number 4 runner, it doesn't mean anything because you're not like part of that 7.
Right.
But it's kind of funky how it works because the 5 are the scorers, and then 6 and 7 are your blockers. And usually they'll let like an 8th run for like 8, 9, 10 or whatever. Because let's say your number 2 runner gets injured and like leaves the race.
Right.
Well, now your number 6 scores for number 5. Number 8 is now a blocker, and they all kind of shift down.
Okay, I get it. So that's why you have the extra runners.
Yeah.
I get it. That's it's not too complicated, but I was getting confused when you were talking about like giving people points, and I was like, wait, don't you? Soccer brain, you score point. You want point.
Yeah. How does soccer scoring work? Tell me a little bit about how that works. I'm
put
unsure.
the ball in the opposing team's goal.
I have a question. I'm lost.
Okay, yeah. Where did I lose you?
Can you read just from the start? I'm just.
So you put the ball right.
Yeah.
The ball, about like yay big. If you're on audio, sorry, it sucks for you. You take the ball, right? No, don't touch it with your hands, because like, no.
Can't do that.
I can. Yeah. I can, but I have a certain space I can do it. No. You kick it. You use your feet. You use your leg hands, and you take your leg hands, and you like scuttle it, and you put it in the opposing team's goal. My job here, right, is to not let the other scuttly leg hands get the ball in my goal.
Okay.
So you get in my space, I'm gonna get in yours.
Okay.
Your personal space, that is.
I think I follow.
Yeah.
So Ian, do you want to tell the story of why you stopped playing soccer?
Yeah, I guess I can. It's kind of a sad story, so I'll try and keep it short and sweet and concise. But honestly, it's laughable how crazy everything that went down was, and how
it is
just
absurd.
one-sided. Yeah. I mean, of course, I made my share of mistakes, but it's like, man, it's so unprofessional for a college. But I guess we can start off by saying, you know, I played soccer since I was a little kid.
A little squirt.
And a little pee-wee. And I worked my way up to a college team, a community college. I wasn't that good, but no, I didn't really try out for any teams or anything. They kind of recruited me from a game they saw me play against some other peeps where we got decimated. But yeah, it was just, I got picked up by this team, and then the head coach left like a week before we were going to start preseason. So that was kind of
you and I had a very similar experience in terms of that, because when I came into college my freshman year, I was recruited by a coach that didn't coach us, because we had a new coach come in, and I didn't know who my coach was going to be until the Thursday of the week that I was going to move in, and I moved in like on a Sunday. So like 3 days before the season started, preseason, we didn't know who our coach was going to be. We got like
It's
a brand
confusing.
new, super young one. Yeah.
Right, it's just like throws you for a loop, because the guy who like came to your high school games or whatever, you just like the person you vibed with is now gone. And my head coach ended up going to like Oregon or something like that, just way far away for no reason. So he had brought in this fitness coach just to like help us do, you know, like running and exercise and stuff. And he ended up being transferred like in as the new head coach when our head coach left. We had 2 assistant coaches and then this head coach who was really just a fitness coach. And so my first year there, I was the backup goalkeeper, which was honestly more than I could have asked for as a start, like as a incoming freshman. Now it's community college, there's 2 years, so freshman, sophomore, and then that's it. You only get the 2 years to play. But we had 4 keepers, 4 goalkeepers on one soccer team. That is way too many keepers, I will just say. We had 3 active goalkeepers and then a red shirt. And our red shirt, Colin, he was a respectable man. He didn't play soccer at all in high school. Well, he started off senior year playing high school ball, and then he was brought in, but Colin's an excellent dude, and he learned really fast because he was like a blank slate, so we did a lot of good training. But he became my backup in the second year when everything really went down. So first year I was there, we made it to the finals of state and we lost to a team that actually tried to recruit me, because I played, I played for a club team that had the head coach of that other community college as like one of the head coaches. So I knew the head coach of the other college and he offered me a position, but he didn't offer me a scholarship. And I was like, I'll take the money, thank you. So that was a bad decision. It was terrible. I should have gone no money, but I was a greedy little boy. So I ended up going to this other community college. We lost to the state like that prior year. And then second year, both of the assistant coaches left, who were the ones really coaching us. And then we were just left with our fitness coach, now head coach. I don't know if I told you this, but the girls coach the year prior was like crazy. And so she got fired.
Really?
Yeah, she got fired. And so our athletic coach is now the head coach for the guys and girls team, which was tough.
Jeez.
So he brought in an assistant coach for the girls and the guys. And the girls' assistant coach was a girl who played the year prior, so everybody knew her. She was cool, but the guys' assistant coach was just some high school coach from around. He was honestly a dickhead. He was 23. He was super unprofessional. Imagine someone talking like Forrest Gump and looking like Ferb from Phineas and Ferb. But he's a player. I remember he showed us videos of him chugging beer through girls' tits, like
Yikes.
in the middle of us taking ice baths. Like, dude, you're our coach.
What
You don't
the heck?
show us that.
No.
Just unprofessional at a ridiculous level. And then obviously our our head coach, didn't really know how to play soccer. He was just a fit guy. So we ran a lot. And as a goalkeeper, you don't really run, but I think I managed maybe like a 21 5K, which it's slow for like cross country standards, but for me, like, that's pretty tight. Most of the guys on our team we usually got like 22s and 25s. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's good
for a goalie. I mean, come on.
Right. I think it was pretty okay. So, but yeah, all he would do is make us run. If we didn't like do well, we wouldn't practice. Like, we would practice, but it was always the same like 3 things over and over and over again. It just got old and stale. And so, like, me and some of the foreign exchange students, we tried to come up with drills for us to do, and we'd give them to our coach and be like, hey, I think we should implement this. And he'd be like, oh, okay, took a look at it. And then he'd never implement it. And it's like, we're trying to get better, and you won't allow us. So we would come in after practice. We'd do extra practices sometimes. And sometimes they'd just take shots on me in goal, like, do free kicks and whatnot. Or we just did our own drills because it was like, screw it, I'm tired of dealing with these people. Exactly. So, but that was kind of like the overarching, like, general feel. The college also didn't really respect us. It was like the 3rd game of our season. We were playing at home, and we had a pep rally that afternoon. And during our game, which is a game that's counted for the season, they were blasting sound checks over our game. So I couldn't talk to my defenders because Sweet Child of Mine is blasting from the football stadium. So that irritated me. Also, during that single game, the opposing team was being overly aggressive. Now, I mean, like, soccer is an aggressive sport. Don't listen to what anybody tells you. It is an aggressive sport. You look at professional men's soccer, they're wusses. Women, they will tear hair, punch each other. Like, they're rough because they want to show that they're resilient, and they are. Oh my God, they are. They don't take up with crap. But the men are actors. That's all they are. It's sad. But these guys that we were playing against were rough. Like, I had a save I made on the edge of the 18 box, and it was just blatant attack on me. I went up for a ball, it was in the air, and I went to go up, and I like put my knee up to protect me. And so I went to go catch the ball. The forward on the other team rammed into the bottom of me. No play on the ball whatsoever. That should be an instant red, but nah, I didn't call it. And then I had a save on the right side of the box a little bit later, and I slide tackled him. Like, I came out and got the ball from his feet, and he landed on top of me and fell. You normally jump and get out of the way, but kid just wanted to be hit, so I took him out. And he was laying on top of me, and he just like started kicking me with his heel, because he's like laying on his back on top of me. He's kicking me with his heel. I get up and I shove him off of me. Not shove, but I just get up and he's gonna roll off of me. And as I go to the edge of the box to distribute the ball, he comes up an inch to the right side of my face. He says, "You better effing watch yourself, keeper." And I was like, oh my God. So instinctively, I just elbowed him in the face. I got him out of my face. You come up and you walk up behind somebody like that and you get that close to their face, you better expect an elbow to the face. It scared the crap out of me. You know what the ref did? Instant red for me.
Jeez. Instant
red. And so I got a red card for that game. I don't know if I told you this, but I started like asking the ref. I was like, what about a yellow card? What about a yellow card? Did you not see this kid? Like, did you not see him? And that kid just started like mouthing off to me or something. I had the ball still in my hands. I threw it at the kid's face. I said, "I'm not talking to you." And I kept talking to the ref.
Awesome.
And now all of this is on video. So you've got proof, right? You've got proof that all of this crap happened. And my athletic director could have gone back through and looked at the video and said, "Hey, I don't think he deserves that card." and he could have talked to the MAJCJC, which is in charge of all of the soccer happenings in the community college area. And he could have gone to them and said, hey, I want to challenge this red card. I don't think it's right. And he didn't. For me and 2 of my other players. So I'll explain what happened here. I was out for 3 games. Normally you're supposed to be out for 2 games for a red card, but they wanted to make an example out of me. It's always the second person to react that usually gets carded, which is just so sad. And in college, you can't really have like an instant replay of anything.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's tough to call stuff as a ref, I will say. But stuff like that is kind of... Actually, since it was in a crowded area, I can understand how it's misconstrued. But you could see it from the film because the film was like set up high. But this next one, I don't know how in the world the ref called this wrong. It's ridiculous. So we were playing our rivals. I won't say the name of the college or my college just to keep, because I don't want to trash talk anybody.
Fair.
So we were playing our rivals, and we usually get in fights with them, like, you know, raid the benches and stuff like that, just because I don't know. But we were down a little bit from half. I went to shit my brains out at half because they gave us rank meat on the bus for our lunch. Yep, they packed us bad meat, and so everybody on the team got sick. But I got it first because, I don't know, my guts are weak. So I could barely stand, like, on the field. I went in, like, at the first part of the half, I got scored on twice, and I was just like, screw this, coach, I cannot stand. So they pulled me out, put the backup in, and we started coming back. And it was like, hell yeah, hell yeah. So it was like 5-3, then 5-4, and then we had like 7 minutes left, and we had a run going up the field. And my midfielder, Ryan, got the ball. Now, Ryan is a shorter guy. He's really good with his feet, but he is a small guy. He is the least likely person to body anybody. Like, he'll stand his ground, but he's not going to be overly aggressive. This man, he gets the ball at his feet, and he's got a guy behind him. This guy on the other team wraps his arms around Ryan and Batista bombs him in the middle of the field with no one else there. And so Ryan, like, gets up real quick and is standing between the guy's legs. Like, the guy's still laying on the ground, and Ryan's standing up between his legs, and I see his face because he's parallel to me on the bench. And I look at him, and his face is like, what the hell just happened? I can't believe this. Before we know it, the opposing team's bench clears, and we're like, oh my god, Ryan's gonna get his ass beat. And so we clear the bench to go protect him. Ryan gets a red card, the other guy gets a red card. Ryan shouldn't have gotten a red card. He didn't do anything.
Jeez.
Our athletic director could have challenged this because we had film. And he could have said, hey, he obviously didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why you're giving him a red card. But he didn't. So, had to deal with that. And then, the next day, we got a little talking to by our athletic director saying, you guys shouldn't be fighting the other team. That's unsportsmanlike conduct. I was like, everybody's wondering, like, did you even watch us play? Do you know what happened? But he goes into, like, this athletic director has said some things to me that I will never forget. So, like, the game before I came, it was like the day before I was going to play again after my red card. I was walking back from practice, and he drove up in his truck, rolled down his window, didn't get out, and he told me this, and I'm never going to forget this in my life. Just, this guy's like maybe in his 50s. He's an older guy. And so he rolls down his window, proceeds to blame me for all the games that I missed, saying like I caused them to lose. By the way, whenever we were losing and I was playing, it was like maybe a 2 to 3 goal difference. Whenever I wasn't there, it was like a 7 to 8 goal difference.
Jeez.
So, I mean, I definitely was doing my part whenever I was playing.
Mm-hmm.
So, that happened. He rolled up beside me, blamed me for all of that, and then told me, I quote, You've put a black eye on this campus, you've put a black eye on your team, and you put a black eye on me. End quote.
Whoa.
And then basically told me to get my shit together and never do it again. And in the moment, you know, it's an older guy. I'm just like, yes sir, no sir, whatever. I get back to my room, I'm like, what in the world did he just tell me? That's ridiculous. You say that with a coach present. You don't say that just roll up on a kid. But then there was the final game that really, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. And it was 1-1 with a little bit of time left before half. And there was a free kick coming towards me. And so they take the free kick. It's from the right side. It's about halfway to the half field mark. So it's about 30, 40 yards out maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He takes the free kick and it's going to the right of the goal. And so my instinct is to usher it out. And I like put my shoulder on the right post. It hits my shoulder and goes out for a corner. They take the corner. I'm marking everybody up. I'm telling all my people where to go and who to block. And my forwards don't listen to me. And they pass the ball up about to the same spot that the free kick was taken from. Guy shoots it in over to my back left post. But it goes over my defenders' heads, like about a foot over their heads. And they just watch it go over. And I'm like, oh my God. Like it bounces in the 6-yard box. And I'm like, holy crap, nobody has it. I dive out, get a tip on it, it still goes in. My assistant coach is screaming his head off, like, what the F are you doing? What's wrong with you? It's all your fault. And I'm looking, like I don't hear him at this point. I'm looking around at my defenders and I'm like, who the hell was standing here? You just let the ball go over your head. I didn't call for shit. And nobody was marking the guy up top that I told him to mark, so that's another problem. But I just wanted to know who was standing where my defenders were. I wanted to know who was standing there. I was upset. And it was 2-1, which isn't bad, but still, like, it's right before half. And my assistant coach is like, it's all your fault, shut the F up. And so we waste the time until half, and at half he comes over to me, he's like, what were you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, coach, did you not see? Did you not see what happened? My defenders were just standing there watching the ball go over their heads. And he's like, yeah, but who caused the corner? And I was like, oh no. So young in my career of being a goalkeeper, there is one thing that I struggled with for a long time. You know, you blame yourself for everything because you're the last man. And if a goal goes in, you can't help but blame it on yourself. But it had to get through 10 people before it got to me. So
fair.
So him saying that it's all my fault, I said, screw it. You're not a coach. You're full of it. He told me to go to my room. He said, go to your room. And I was like, all right, bye. I think I left my old Quicksilver hat there that we got going to Pensacola. So I think I left it on the campus, sadly, like when that happened, because I was in such a rush to get out. So I went back to my room, and then they lost 7-1.
Jeez.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked for them because I loved my teammates. I really respected my teammates, most of them. There were like 1 or 2 bad apples, but all that happened. I went back to my dorm. Actually, I went to the parking lot because my parents drove over, and my dad was absolutely on my side. He was like, "That's ridiculous," because they'd been hearing all about everything like since I'd been telling them about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just screamed my head off. Now it was like almost a weekend. It was like on a Friday afternoon, so nobody was at the campus really. So I'm just in the parking lot screaming my head off. And then guess who shows up in his little white pickup truck?
Oh boy.
It's the athletic director, and he says, I heard we have a discipline issue. And so I explained everything to him and what had happened and what the assistant coach had told me. And he's like, oh, no, I don't care about that. I want to know what we have to do to fix your attitude. And I said, you know what you can do? You could have challenged my red card. You could have challenged Dakota's red card. You could have challenged Ryan's red card. Did you even watch our games? Do you even know what happened during my red card? And he's like, yeah, you threw a kid at a ball. You threw a kid at the ball's face. You threw a ball at a kid's face. I was like, that happened after the red card. It's like, you obviously don't care about us and my team. I was like, you don't care. You don't care. You just care about football. And so then my dad starts talking from behind me, and he looks at my dad and he says, oh, no, sir. I'm not talking to you. And my mom and dad flip out on him, and they start yelling and screaming. He rolls up his window and drives off.
Yikes.
Never got a message from my coaches after the game. Never heard anything back from them until a group text saying, hey, everybody be back at 5 on Sunday. And so it took all weekend to decide, okay, I think I'm dropping out. I texted my coach that Sunday, and I was like, hey, can I meet you before practice? And so I go to his office, and it's not just him. It's the assistant coach for the guys team and the assistant coach for the girls team. He looked at me, he's like, what did you want to talk about? I said, I want to withdraw from the team. He doesn't ask me why. He doesn't beg me to stay. He just says, I think that's the best for everyone. Anything else? And I smiled and I said, no, sir. I shook his hand. I shook the assistant coach's hand, and I looked at the girls' assistant coach. I went to shake her hand. She is having the hardest time not just laughing. And then I found out that night after I quit that they had the practice, and he sat everybody down at the track, and he's like, does anybody know who's not here? And my roommate's like, oh, I know, Ian's not here. Where's Ian? And he's like, how many people do I have to kick off of this team before? Like, he kicked me off.
Yikes.
No, sir. And everybody knew that I quit. Everybody on the team knew I quit, so they all knew he was full of it. So that was kind of just the absolute icing on the cake. And that's why I quit soccer. And I think that's the best decision I've ever made for my mental health to this day. I am very happy. I'm very proud. It takes a lot of effort just to go, like putting so much effort into something and then finally just saying, it's like, okay, I think this is where I need to call it.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things. Back when I played soccer when I was like tiny, I was terrible.
Yeah.
But I played it for like 5 or 6 years, and eventually I was like, this is not, I was just kind of doing it because I had done it for so long. And I was like, this is just not the sport for me. And that's like really hard to do.
Right.
Doing a sport for so long and then just saying this is not it.
I mean, I'm doing a lot of cool stuff now, like a podcast. So,
right?
Who really won? I think I did.
Boom.
Bang.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the podcast. Hopefully next week we'll have something you can watch. Maybe. We'll see. We're working on it. But
a little bit of a video podcast coming up soon, hopefully.
Yeehaw. You can find Trent on TrentBriggs3 on Instagram. You can find me on the.nature.child on Instagram. And
maybe next week you'll find us on our own Instagram.
Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Harsh.